Hello everyone, in this video we are going to use the calculator to help us to factorize algebraic expression. So you've learned factorizing algebraic expressions in Form 2, Chapter 2, Factorization, and it is very helpful because you'll be seeing a lot of this in the coming chapters, for example in Form 4, Quadratic Equations. We can always use a calculator to help us to double check our answers. And I'm going to show you how to use the Casio FX570MS and the FX570EX Plus calculators. So if you are using this type of calculators, you can skip to the timeline as shown in the description below. So we're going to start off with this. This is a quadratic algebra expression. We know it's quadratic because the unknown here has the highest power of 2. So first we need to change the mode of our calculator by pressing the mode button 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And you see EQN, which stands for equation, 1. So to choose this option, we press 1. And then you will see unknowns 2 and 3 here. You press the right arrow button. And degree here, we go to degree 2 because the highest power here is 2. So degree 2. Press 2. The display here asks for the value of A. A is the coefficient of m squared. So the coefficient here is 1. Has a value of 1, even though it's not written. So we enter 1. And then press equal sign. Then the question asks for the value of B. B is the value of the coefficient of m. So be careful here, you need to take account the sign. The operation here means it is a negative 4. So we key in negative 4, or you can use minus 4 and then press equal sign. Now value of C is this, the value of C, which is minus 12 or negative 12 here. So we use negative 12. Then we press equal sign. So x1 equals to 6. You'll be given x1 equals to 6. And if you press the down arrow button, you see that x2 equals to negative 2. So we are going to use these values to help us to factorize this. So first we write the brackets. The unknown is m, so we use the m here, m. Then given the x1 is 6, we write the 6 here. And one thing you have to be careful is if this is a positive value, when you replace it into the brackets, you have to use negative. Negative 2, when we write inside here, it becomes positive 2. Hence, this quadratic expression has been factorized to this. Now we want to try to factorize this. So we need to reset this. We just need to press the equal button. And even though there's a 1 here, this 1 is actually the value from the previous question. So we can just ignore the value here and just enter the new value. Okay, so the A value is the coefficient. A value is the coefficient of B squared, which is also happens to be 1. So we just enter 1 equal. The negative 4 is from the previous question. We ignore this. So we look at this. The B value here is positive 12. So we enter 12. Press equal sign. Then the C value is this, positive 36. Press equal. We get x equals to negative 6. If you press the arrow button, the down arrow button, notice that nothing changes. And notice that the first question we have x1, x2, but the second question we only have 1x. This means that both the value that we need to write inside here and here are the same. Hence, there is only one value. There is no two values such as the first question. So remember, negative 6, when we write inside here, it will become positive 6. So here it is the same, positive 6. We can further simplify this. It becomes x plus 6 to the power of 2. Question C. Now before we start, we need to press the equal sign button to reset. Again, the 1 is from a previous question. We can ignore this and start with the new expression. Before we start, compare this with the previous one. What is the difference between this expression and this? You see here, the m squared is the first term, but here the k squared is in the middle. So actually, we have to rearrange the terms. So we rearrange. We bring the k squared in front, and then the k in the middle, and the last is a number, the values, which we call the general form. Then we can start to use the calculator to help us. So the a value is actually the coefficient of k squared, which is also to be 1. Again, the 12 is from previous question. We ignore it. We look at the new value, the new b value, which is negative 18. So we type in negative 18 equal, and positive 81. So positive 81 equal. You get x equals to 9, meaning that when we factorize it, both of the values here are the same. And since this is positive, when we write into these brackets here, it becomes negative. Okay, we can further simplify. It becomes x minus 9 squared because they are the same. Reset. Now this is k squared, the first one, correct. So this is the a value. So a5. B value is this, which is positive 3. C value is negative 14. So now we have x1, x2 means there are two values. x1 is 1.4. x2 is negative 2. So now we have something new here because the x1 is a decimal number. So usually when we factorize this, we don't write decimal numbers here. So this is something new. You need to change this to fraction form. How to change to fraction form for decimal number? You press this button. Now it becomes a fraction. This is a mixed number, which means this is equals to 1, 2 over 5. So 1, 2 over 5. You need to change this again to improper fraction form. Improper fraction, how do you change mixed number to improper fraction? So 5 multiply 1 plus 2. 5 multiplies 1 is 5 plus 2 will be 7 over 5. So why we need to change this to improper fraction? Because when we substitute the value into the brackets, okay, where we have k here, the denominator will be written here. The numerator will be written here. This is a positive value, so when you write inside here, it becomes a negative value. And this negative 2 will become positive 2. Actually, the x here is just representing the unknown of k here, even though they are different. So now the a value is okay, so the x1 is 3.5. Press the down arrow button. x2 is negative 1. Negative 1 is an integer, no problem. Now again, we have a decimal here, so we need to change this to the improper fraction. So we go back, we press the up arrow button, 3.5. We press the fraction button. It becomes 3 1 over 2. change this to an improper fraction by multiplying this number, and plus 2 times 3 is 6 plus 1 equals to 7 over 2. Then we draw our brackets. K here, we just write the K. Denominator in front of K. Numerator here. Positive, negative. Negative 1, enter here becomes positive 1. Reset this. Press until you get the A here. So the A value will be 4. So you get x equals to 1.5. Notice that there is no x1 or x2, meaning that both of the brackets here, both the content here inside is the same. And remember, we need to change this into improper fraction. So we press the fraction button. It becomes 1 over 2. Multiply, add, you get 2 times 1 plus 1 is 3 over 2. So here we have y, 2 here, 3 here, positive, negative. So since both of these are the same, we just rewrite this again. Now we try again with this. Reset this until it shows an A here. So you get x1 is 1.5, x2 is negative 6. 1.5, go back to 1.5 here, you change the fraction, 1 over 2, which is equals to 3 over 2. Then draw brackets. Unknown is m. So we have 2, the denominator 2 here, numerator 3, positive, negative. Negative 6, positive 6. And our last question here. Reset. Now, this form is different than the previous one. So what you can do is, you can expand this first. So we try to expand this first. So this is a plus 3, a plus 3 minus 81. A times a, you get a squared. A plus a times 3, you get 3a. 3 times a, 3a. 3 times 3, 9 minus 81. Simplify it. 3a plus 3a, 6a. 9 minus 81, you get 72. Now it's already in this form, general form. Then we can continue with this. The a value here is 1. So you get x1 equals to 6, x2 equals to negative 12. Hence we write this in the bracket. The unknown is a, so I will write a here. Positive 6, when we write inside here, becomes negative 6. Negative 12 becomes positive 12. And that is how you use your calculator to factorize the algebraic expression. Now we go on with the second type of calculator. Now we are going to use the second type of calculator to solve the same questions. So before we start, we need to set up the calculators first, on, and then we need to change the mode here. So we press the mode once, and you can see that we have a EQN here, stands for equation, which is stated by the number 5. So we press 5, option 5. Now from here, we will choose option 3, because the 3 here is a quadratic equation form, which matches our quadratic expression. So we choose 3. Then it will you will see that there is an A, B, and a C. So the calculator is asking for the value of A, value of B, and value of C. A is the coefficient of the unknown with the highest power, which is power 2. So here the coefficient of m to the power of 2 is 1, even though it's not written here, it's 1. So here we try to enter 1 by pressing 1. and the equal sign. You see that A, 1. B, now it's asking, the calculator is asking for the value of B. B is the value, is the value of the coefficient of the unknown with the power 1. So it's -4, so means we want negative, okay, you can use the minus sign here, -4, press enter. Then C is the last value here, which is -12, so -12, press enter and press again. Once more, the calculator will show you the first value is x1 equals to 6. Press the down arrow button, you get x2 equals to -2. So we are going to use this value to factorize this. First, we write down the brackets. Then the unknown here, since the unknown is m, so we write 2m's here. We refer back to the values. If this is a +6, we will write in here -6. If this is a -2, we will write +2. So now we have factorized the quadratic expression. We go to the next question. Again, we have a quadratic expression. First, we need to reset our calculator by pressing enter. So you will see that the values, there are values here, and the values is from the question A. So we can just ignore it and enter the new value of A, B, and C based on the new question. So now A here has the value of 1. So A has a value of 1. So you can just press the equal sign, or you just enter 1 and that equal. Now the calculator is asking for value of B. B here is this +12. So +12 is 12 equal. The C here is the last value here, which is +36. So you key in 36, enter, enter another time, and you get x equals to -6. This time, even though you press the down arrow or up arrow button, there is no changes to the value, which is different than the previous one, which has the x1 and x2. This means that when you factorize this, the values in both brackets here have the same value, which is 6. So B, okay, the unknown is B, so you write B here. Okay, regardless here is x, because the x is the general unknown used in the calculator. So we write here according to the equation, the expression given. -6, when we write inside the bracket, it becomes +6. If you want to further simplify this, actually, since these two are the same, so it becomes b plus 6 to the power of 2. To reset this, reset. Now again, the calculator is asking for a value of A. So A here, so you look at the question here, is a little bit different because the arrangement is different. If you look at the previous question, the unknown with the highest power is the first term. Here, the unknown with the highest power, power 2, is in the middle. So we need to rearrange the terms. We bring this to the front, becomes k squared, and then minus 18k plus 81. To fill in the values here, the terms must be in this form, which we call general form. Now, the A value here is 1, so it's still 1. Okay, 1. Oh, sorry. We just reset. Okay, we key in 1 equal. The value of B is -18, so it's -18. The value of C is +81, 81 equal. Then press the equal button, you get x equals to 9. Again, compared to the previous question, which has two values, this has only one, meaning that you factorize it, the answer is the same, positive 9, when you write inside the bracket, it becomes negative 9, and then you can further simplify, becomes this. Now we go to this. It's equal to reset. It's in general form, correct? Okay, we can start with A. A is 5, so we press 5. B is positive 3, so we take 3. C is negative 14, so we write negative 14. Enter. Enter again. You get x1 equals to 7 over 5. x2 equals to negative 2. So now we have a fraction here, but we cannot put a fraction into the brackets here. We need to change the way we write. So how? The first k here, we take the denominator 5, we put it here. Take the numerator 7, put it here. Since this is positive, the answer is negative. Again, the k, negative 2 becomes positive 2. So that is your answer. Press equal sign to reset. Now the A is 2. You get x1 equals to 7 over 2. x2 equals to negative 1. So you draw the brackets. You write the unknowns. 2 right in front. 7 here. Positive becomes negative. Negative 1 becomes positive 1. Reset calculator. A is 4. You get x equals to 3 over 2, but this time there is only one value, meaning that both of the values in the brackets are the same. Y here, so the 2, the numerator, the denominator in the front. 3 here, positive, negative. So it's the same. And you can further simplify it. Reset. A is 2. Over 2. x2 equals to negative 6. So m is the unknown. 3 over 2, so the 2 here. 3 here. Positive, negative. Negative 6 becomes positive 6. Now, notice that this form is different, so we need to expand this first. So a plus 3 equals to a plus 3, a plus 3. A times a, you get a squared. A times 3, you get 3a. 3 times a, you get 3a. 3 times 3, you get 9 minus 81. So we simplified this first. 3a plus 3a, you get 6a. Plus 9 minus 81, you get negative 72. Now this is the general form, then we can use the calculator. The first value of a, which is 1, you get x1 equals to 6, x2 equals to negative 12. So you can replace it in the brackets. A here, 6 positive becomes negative, negative 12 becomes positive 12. And that is how you use a calculator to factorize a quadratic expression. That's all for today. Thank you, everyone.